Speaking of gold, let's bring in one of our other analysts here at A1 Trading and say hello to Frank. Frank, how's it going, man?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Hey, Frank, you're a star on here these days. People keep asking me, like, all right, that's enough, Nick. Bring on the man. Bring on the Frank.
That's
How's
surprising to
everything
hear.
going? What are you looking at this morning?
Today I'm looking at oil, just like last week. I'm not sharing my screen. Hold on. But
Great if you want there.
it's the only commodity that I'm interested in now because institutions are still long, whereas smart money's starting to trail out of gold. And I don't know if that shift is going to continue, but they're still heavy interested on oil and at the same time getting rid of their short contracts. So I'm kind of happy with what I'm looking at right now too on the 4 hour, because gold or oil is similar to gold, where it kind of like has these spikes and then trails down a little bit and then rejects these lows like support levels, and kind of like a staircase pattern. So I like oil right now at this, but I think I want to wait for like a confirmation on a break in this trend line before.
Yeah, to your point, Frank, that little push, the staircase, the laddering concept that you just talked about, that level of resistance that you have on your chart, or I'm sorry, that it's green now, the level of support now, that breakout was pretty key. So you had the gap up, and then price was actually able to take out the highs and now solidly stay above that 81.75 level, let's call it. So if price does dip back into that, and as you can kind of see on those last couple candles there, it dipped back into that area and buyers were still strong.
Right.
I'll pull up what you were talking about, Frank. Chandler, if you switch the screen over. So check this out, guys. So oil, Frank was mentioning sort of the latest in terms of COT data. Going off what Frank was saying, so US oil, long contracts at 310,000, let's call it long contracts, short contracts only at 74,000. So a clear preference in terms of the oil market to the long side, with also a decrease, notably, as Frank was pointing out, an increase in long positions, and actually the latest change showing a decrease in short positions. So very interested to see what happens there, Frank, in terms of institutional data. And then one last thing I'll say before handing it back to you. Gold, latest long. So there has been a shrink in longs, but also a shrink in shorts. What does that tell you about that, Frank? Is there anything you could what does that tell you anything, or is that just confusing?
Yeah, so I think they're trying to get out before earnings.
Okay.
And
Like
usually
closing both long and short positions.
Yeah, they're just trying to. Gold's made a terrific run so far, so it can be profit taking. But I also think that they're kind of worried about where the market's heading, and I think their best case would probably be the USD.
Yeah.
Or
interesting that you mentioned earnings seasons there, Frank, too, because for those of you guys who trade indices, and we can pass it back to your screen because I'd love to get your take on this. If you want to pull up the stock market, Frank, maybe the S&P or something, you mentioned earnings season. For those of you who are not familiar with that, Frank, what is earnings season and why does it matter to the indices?
So, I mean, it's just a series of earnings reports where companies just say how much they've made or lost in a quarter. And this one came by really quickly because companies kind of lag on their reports from Q4. So now they're like, you have earnings season and then like shortly after you have another one, but that's only like around this time of the year. So oddly enough, most companies, 90% of companies today have reported a solid beat in earnings, which is one of the best starts in a while from what I read on this, just like CNBC. But stocks are just still mixed. Smart money's not really involved. They're kind of getting out of of stocks as well.
Do you have any questions about any of our products or services? Right now, members of the A1 Trading team are standing by, waiting to assist you. You can head over to our website, a1trading.com, and click the icon in the bottom right-hand corner to chat with one of our team members live. You can also go to a1trading.com/contact and fill out the Contact Us form, and someone will get back to you shortly. We have our helpful and friendly members of our support staff ready to chat with you anytime Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So what are you waiting for? If you have any questions, feel free to chat with us live right now on the A1 Trading website.
Yeah, I was going to say one other thing. Sorry to interrupt you, Frank. I'll let you keep going in just a second. I was going to say, in terms of the COT day, I've got it pulled up on my screen. On the S&P, you're right in the sense that, like, increase in terms of positioning. We're talking smart money positioning here. We had an increase in longs, but also an increase in shorts. One thing that was really interesting, Frank, is that the NASDAQ shined in the latest reporting. So in the NASDAQ, you've got 12,792 additional long contracts and shorts being closed. Going into earnings season, very, very strange to see big money seems to be moving into tech. That probably would have been my least likely scenario to bet on. But I guess it kind of makes sense when you have big names like NVIDIA and Meta and stuff like that going crazy. But yeah, keep going. I just wanted to fill in on the COT side.
Yeah, well, at the same time, they have increased their long contracts and decreased shorts, but it's still overall very mixed. They're about 50,000 on the smart money tracker, so you can't really tell where they're trying to go right now, because right now on the tracker it says 49% long, 51% short. So it's still like, well, where do you think anything's going? And it just seems like a lot of guessing right now. I think they're betting on big tech beating earnings, which I think Tesla's, I don't know if it reported or not yet. I need to get better at tracking that sort of stuff, but Tesla looked good. I think they had a really good sales number. So but other than that, I've also been looking at the yield, and now last week they went from like 900,000 to over 1 million now. Short contracts open.
Are you tracking CFD with that stuff? Yeah.
Which is very interesting. It also works kind of inverse. So the more shorts you have, the better it is for the yield and worse for the price. So the higher the shorts, the higher the yield goes on this chart. So just kind of
and part of that, Frank, is that as yields rise there, the dollar gets stronger. So I've got a chart pulled up for the dollar really quick. This pullback on the dollar this morning, well, I guess not just this morning, Friday and now Monday, is testing sort of the extremes in terms of this pullback. To the credit of dollar bulls here, if this thing actually breaks out higher, if we're able to clear that 61.8, it probably has room to run much further. So I went long gold this morning, but I do have a stop loss in place, probably for that very reason, that if the dollar breaks out, if we start getting, for example, what could cause the dollar to go crazy would be weak earnings, fear coming back into the market. Right now, there's a sense of optimism going into earnings season. And again, whether you're a forex trader, gold trader, dollar trader, it doesn't really matter. Earnings season is very, very important to both currency traders, bond traders. We try and spread ourselves out on this channel. We focus on currency pairs. We even dabble into a little bit of stocks sometimes as well. So that's always an interesting one to watch, as earnings season has a big swing on the market and not just the stock market itself. So it will be very interesting to see what those yields do going into this week, because those yields are, again, a powerful impactor on the dollar, and the dollar, of course, makes all the currencies move. So very, very loaded next couple of weeks here with earnings season coming into to play. Frank, thank you for coming on the show. I've got Ivan joining me here in just a second. So thank you for bringing your take as always, and we'll see you back on the next show.
Okay, see you then.
All right, see ya.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy Don't forget to check out the links in the description if you want our broker recommendation, access to our free Discord, free Edge Finder, or want to chat with us on Telegram. Remember, you can watch us live in the markets every morning starting at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and we have lots more free trading tools and content available on our website, a1trading.com. Thanks for watching.